So today's video is about the nervous system and essentially regulating the nervous system. This is oftentimes a missing link in a lot of people's healing journeys, especially for those with chronic health conditions who can't find answers, okay? So this is referring oftentimes to chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia. So what is our autonomic nervous system? Well, it's responsible for our automatic bodily responses, such as digestion, our respiratory rate, our heart rate. It's responsible for how we respond to stressors. It helps us figure out how to socially engage within our environment, right? So anytime that you see like a tiger in the wild and you recognize there's this orange thing in the grass and you just feel this need to run, that's your autonomic nervous system responding to that environment, okay? A regulated nervous system helps us respond to stressors and our external environment in an appropriate manner. The problem is that our autonomic nervous system wasn't necessarily wired to handle our modern day environment. So what that means is that we have all these tiny stressors now so that we may be in a stress response too often, okay? And so what happens is a dysregulated nervous system does things at the wrong time. When you're in an environment where you need to be still and relaxed, it could be perceiving danger. Or when you're actually in a stressful environment, it could be perceiving that you just need to be calm and just kind of be at ease, right? A dysregulated nervous system, in my belief, is largely responsible for a lot of physical chronic health conditions, okay? So chronic fatigue, oftentimes where we can't figure out what's wrong, it could be a nervous system that's shut down, okay? A nervous system believes that it has to just kind of not engage with the environment, that there's too much stress, when in actuality, that's not what's happening. Oftentimes, I also believe that it's responsible for some personality disorders, such as narcissistic personality disorder, right? So NPD is often someone who is in chronic hypervigilance, okay? They experience some trauma when they were younger and their nervous system believes that they're in constant fear. So they have to constantly be controlling their environment, be controlling other people, okay? So how do you notice when someone is dysregulated? Oftentimes they're chaotic and scattered, okay? They can't sit still, they can't be at ease, they can't be at peace. Other ways is they're rigid and shut down. They're numb. They're not participating in anything, okay? We link this to depression. We can link this to ADHD, and these are correct boxes and bins to put these conditions in. But the underlying cause of why depression is setting in, right, may be due to a dysregulated nervous system that is not responding appropriately to the environment. So, what is the structure of our nervous system? It kind of descends in a ladder-like approach, okay? So for many of us, the goal is to be in our ventral vagal complex, right? Which is our social engagement system, all right? This is unique to mammals, okay? When we are in our ventral vagal, this is how we connect with other people. This is how we experience joy. This is how we experience love, okay? Our ventral vagal complex is also responsible for learning. When you're just sitting in stillness and peace and taking in information or taking in things from other people, you're in your ventral vagal. As we descend down, we reach the sympathetic nervous system. A lot of you are familiar with this. This is our fight, flight, or flee response. And many of us are in this too often, okay? Our fight and flight is supposed to just be turned on from time to time, okay? This is what increases our heart rate. This is what increases our adrenaline, okay? This is activated when we need to respond to danger, when we need to respond to stress, or when we're just simply exercising. But too often, people get addicted to the sympathetic nervous system, right? Their bodies become addicted, and they stay up too long. So this will feel like being anxious all the time, being worrisome, being jittery. Last but not least is our dorsal vagal complex. This is our shutdown or immobility. This is what animals will go into when they are playing dead, when they believe that they have lost, right? When they are being hunted and they know that they can't get out of it, so they play dead, so it is less painful. Human beings will engage in this when they want to separate from pain and overly stressful environments that they believe they cannot get out of. It is a way to reduce pain. It's our natural, it's our natural pain pill, essentially. right? But once again, we can trigger this when we don't need to. And this is when we're in a severe dissociative state. This is when depression sets in. This is when we feel numbness. This is when we feel deadened, okay? So we want to be in ventral vagal, but we perceive that there's a stressor. So we go in sympathetic nervous system. We ramp up, we feel like we have to fight something, but then we feel like we can't win this fight. So we go into the dorsal vagal complex, which is we just shut down, okay? This is how our nervous system works. So, dysregulation within the nervous system. Why does it become dysregulated? Us as a Western culture, we are collectively dysregulated, all right? And this is often due to trauma. And like I said, we've covered this immensely in other videos and in other content, but trauma is an event or experience that we didn't have the time, space, ability to process, to internalize, right? So this trauma becomes stuck within the physical body, okay? And when trauma becomes stuck in the physical body, our nervous system may begin perceiving that it's still living out that trauma within the present moment, even though it's in the past. So when your nervous system is dysregulated, it's often because you're perceiving the past to be the present. Other factors that create nervous system dysregulation is you feeling the need to always be on. You feeling the need to always be perfect. You feel the need to always impress other people, okay? So you're gonna constantly be hyper aware of your environment, feeling like you have to meet everyone's needs. Once again, that's kind of related back to childhood trauma in terms of not having your needs met and not developing a sense of self, okay? Basically, our nervous system is dysregulated when we are not in our bodies, when we are not connected to our internal environment, when we feel like our bodies are unsafe. So how do we rewire the nervous system? This is going to be much longer, much more complex than I can cover here, right? But my next video will be on somatic healing. And that's where we start off with. Find a somatic healing practitioner. That is someone that helps you locate body trauma that is stored within the body and helps you through intentional breath work and movement to release that trauma, okay? We also have to create an awareness of when our body is in dorsal and sympathetic too long. When are you over anxious? When are you too worried? When do you feel you're beginning to shut down? Don't buy into the narrative that your ego will then create to basically make you feel like this is a warranted response, right? Recognize, wait, it's actually not that stressful in my environment. I don't need to respond to it like this. This won't trigger you into a ventral state, but it will help create an awareness where you can start to regulate in a more cohesive manner. Okay, we also have to reestablish safety within the body. You have to start going inward and you have to start cultivating an internal environment within yourself that you feel like you can inhabit. You have to allow the body to shake and tremor. This one sounds really weird, but animals actually release excess energy or excess trauma stored up by shaking and tremoring. Our bodies actually want to do that, but our Western culture society has given a negative association or weakness to shaking and tremoring. It takes some work. There's this exercise called trauma release exercises, right? That will actually help allow you to shake and tremor. But tremoring has been a huge part of my healing process and allowing my body to re-regulate itself, all right? The next is you have to reorient to your environment. So instead of going for a run in nature and listening to your music, go for a walk. Feel what it's like to put your feet on the ground. Feel what it's like for your legs to move. Feel the wind move across your body. It's bringing awareness to your environment and allowing it to slowly set in. A great example of reorienting to your environment is just right now, as you're sitting down, look around your room. Start noticing, what are the colors of the wall, right? What does it feel like to have my butt on my seat, okay? This is orientation. All right, so this is just a basic video about the nervous system. I hope this helps give you clarity if you feel like you're having issues with being numb or you're having issues with being too anxious, all right? Please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure to also leave comments below. Thank you for watching, guys.